So Mega Evolutions sure happened, didn't they? Man, I wish Game Freak would do that whole Mega Evolution thing again. That was rad. Mega Evolutions? Never heard of them. Z-moves? What's that? Z-moves? We're like Z-loser. Alright, I'm done being stupid. What's up, my dickhead? Never done being stupid. How you guys doing? Welcome back to another tier list video. We're rocking and rolling, doing the good darn thing. I'm saying things so loud that like there's a lot of echo going on right now. I sound like a Starbucks girl. I was like, there's like so much echo in this room. Oh my god. In all seriousness though, I did get rid of all my stuff and put them in cardboard tombstones. So, you know, honestly, at this point, echo is to be expected. But how are you guys doing? Welcome back to another tier list video here on the channel. Hopefully you guys are excited. Hopefully you guys are pumped. Thank you all so much for supporting these types of videos. I really do appreciate it. Now, this might be the final tier list video. I don't entirely know if there's any other like topics that I really have much interest in. Maybe we can go through and do all the generations. But honestly, in terms of like totally unique tier list, Mega Evolutions are kind of like the last stop that we have here. We already did the starters, we already did the legendaries, we already did all the Kanto mons. It's kind of an odd selection there. But yeah, if you guys want to go ahead and check out those previous tier list videos, I highly recommend them. And also, we also did all the Hariyamas. Now, moving on down our Hariyama list, we have this. I don't know what this is. I just saw the caption. It's Hariyama Grande. That was a lot of fun. But anyways, welcome to an official Mega Evolution tier list video. If you guys want to go ahead and peep the tier list that I'm making down below, if you want a link to the actual website, of course, I'll go and drop that down below. But in the meantime, we're going to go ahead and get started here. As you can see, we have all the Mega Evolutions as to be expected, and we have a couple of tiers here. Now, usually with these tier lists, I kind of like think about it a little bit before I get into it, but honestly, I don't have enough time today to like actually like brainstorm before I get into this. So we're just going to get straight into this. I have a stream in about an hour, and we're just going to rock and roll. So starting off here, I think it's easiest if we start with my favorite megas and then kind of go down from there. So my favorite mega of all time, and this might catch you guys for a little bit of a surprise if you guys don't know me well, and I'm looking for him right now. There he is, my boy, Mega Sableye. And you guys will be looking at that and thinking, Asteroid, what? What the flubber nugget? You really are gonna pick the Mega Evolution that just added a gem. Like just made the gem bigger. That's really the one you're gonna pick. And yes, that is the one I'm gonna pick. The reason why is because Mega Sableye and I have a competitive history. Now, Mega Evolutions came into the fray right as I happened to enter the competitive fray. So of course, you know, I was going in. Gen 6 was my jam. I was rocking with the peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. I was, you know, bashing fools over the head out in the VGC streets. And your boy used to use Mega Sableye all the time. Mega Sableye was my go-to mega for like 99% of the teams that I made, just because of how freaking versatile he was. He was the only mega, and they patched this with Sun and Moon, but he was the only mega that had two abilities in the first turn. Like the first turn you hit that Mega Evolution button, he had the priority from Prankster as well as the Magic Bounce ability in the same turn, and it made him ridiculous. So I loved using Mega Sableye. Magic Bounce is one of my favorite abilities in the game, and he was just so fun to use strategically. Now his design is just okay. I mean, it's nothing crazy. Like, you know, design wise, he's just kind of whatever. But like, dude, him in competitive play was just so much fun that I ended up loving him and making him my favorite mega. So Mega Sableye, he holds a special place in my heart, even though I don't get to use him as often as I used to, just because I'm not really in the competitive scene anymore. But anyways, moving on to like some of my second favorite megas here. You know, for these second favorite megas, I don't know whether to put them in S tier or to put them in A tier. Like, technically for me, they're below Mega Sableye, but in the grand scheme of things, they might still be on the same tier. One of those megas has to be Pincer. I love Mega Pincer. Mega Pincer is just sick. He's cool. I just moved my light. That's fine. It's okay. But yeah, no, Mega Pincer was just, he's just sick. That's all I can say about him. He has the cool little flappy wings. I remember in competitive play, the whole combination of Swords Dance plus Quick Attack was just ridiculous with the aerialate ability. So he is just freaking insane, and I really like him. Now, moving on, I don't know, man. Like, when it comes to a lot of these megas, I really am just kind of like okay with them. You know, like none of them like really stand out to me like as favorites. I just really like the concept of Mega Evolution to begin with. With that being said, Charizard, Mega Charizard X and Y, I'm going to throw them in A tier. You know, I know I've ranked Mega Charizard X and Y in the past, like S tier in like the Kanto video, but I think if we're just focusing on the megas themselves, I feel like Charizard is just kind of an A tier. I feel like Charizard just kind of sits there. He's just good. He's really solid. But if we're just looking at the megas, which I do want to do my best to focus on with this video, like specifically just the megas, then I think these do top out Mega Charizard as a whole there, both forms. Now, looking at the S tier again, I almost want to put Beedrill or Pidgeot up there. I honestly really do, because I love them so much. And Mega Rayquaza is sick as well. I'm gonna put Mega Rayquaza in A tier actually, because Mega Rayquaza is just like there's nothing that I don't have a problem with him. Like there's literally nothing negative that I can really say about him. Honestly, the only thing that really keeps him from S tier, I think, is just the fact that I don't get to use him very often. Like he's just, you know, I love him when I do get to use him, but like because he's just so overpowered, like there's not really a place for him, if that makes any sense. So, you know, I know some people, I've talked about this in previous tier list videos, but I know some people might look at his overpoweredness and be like, okay, yeah, let's just take that and, you know, just erase the dry erase board, take that from existence. Game Freak, what the f are you thinking? No, I think it's great. I think how overpowered he is fantastic. I love that. Now, did he totally break the balance in the game? Probably, but like, dude, he's just sick, man. He's just sick. With a design like that, how could it not be powerful? And also, I'm a little biased because Rayquaza is like my favorite legendary. So, anyways, moving on from that, I think Pidgeot or Beedrill is probably next up. I don't know really what it is about these megas, but I just think they're dope. And actually, you know what? I do kind of know what it is. It's because those Pokemon, Pidgeot and Beedrill, are just like okay Pokemon to me. Like I've never been the biggest Pidgeot fan, never been the biggest Beedrill fan, but their megas just take them to the next level. Like these Mega Evolutions take a mediocre Pokemon for me and make them like one of my favorites. And I think that's why I adore these megas so much. So you know what? I'm gonna put Beedrill and Pidgeot in S tier. I might have to adjust that, you know, once we start looking at, you know, the grand scheme of things here. Maybe Rayquaza can move up, or maybe like Pidgeot could move down a tier. Honestly, the S and A tier are so interchangeable. It's kind of tough to really, you know, to really focus in on that and to really decipher the two. But I think this will be good for right now. We'll make some adjustments later on for sure. But anyways, moving on. I actually really like Mega Audino. You're gonna find that when it comes to Mega Evolutions, because I was so focused on the Gen 6 metagame, you're gonna find that a lot of the Mega Evolutions that I think really highly of are gonna be Pokemon that I used competitively. They're gonna be Pokemon that I had great success with competitively, and that's part of the reason why I love them so much. Because back in Gen 6, you you chose your Mega, and then you built your team around that Mega. So the Mega was kind of the core of the entire team. Which is why I end up growing fond of a lot of these specific megas. But anyways, with that being said, I'm going to give Audino a solid B. I really like Audino. I love that he's the only, well, I don't love the fact that he's the only Gen 5 Pokemon that has a Mega. I wish there were more Gen 5 mods that got Megas. I feel like Gen 5 kind of got gypped. But I think Audino, like, really does well as representing Gen 5 here. Like, I think its Mega is just really cool. I like the color palette switch, making it more of like a white. I think that's really cool. Him in competitive, I remember being very solid. I don't remember, like, specific strats because it's been, like, 4 or 5 years. But I remember him being really cool. So I'm going to have to say I like Mega Audino a lot. Now, I'm getting some looks here. I'm getting some vibes from Mega Kangaskhan. I'm going to throw Mega Kangaskhan B tier as well. And the reason why is because I just love the concept of Mega Kangaskhan. He was one of the first Megas that got announced. And I just really like the idea of the baby coming out of the pouch and like double hitting. Like, yeah, you know, yeah, it's really broken. It's really, really strong. Mega Kangaskhan is freaking ridiculous. But I like that. I like that really took him to the next level. And I think the concept is so perfect. It kind of, you know, it kind of throws Megas on its head, because typically with Megas, all of them basically are focused around cosmetic changes. They're focused on, you know, creating more spikes on the Pokemon. I'm looking at you, Mega Manectric, or, you know, adding a second biting head like Mawile, or basically just changing the appearance and making it more intimidating or whatnot. But Mega Kangaskhan doesn't do that. Literally, the only thing that changes is the baby comes out of the pouch. And I don't know what it is about that, but it's just interesting. It makes them stand out, and it's a different take on Megas. Instead of a cosmetic thing, it is a physical upgrade to the Pokemon. It's like the baby was impacted by the energy, and they formed a bond, and now they're able to work as a team. I just think that's awesome. Like, that concept is just so cool. So that's why I give him a B tier. Honestly, he could almost make it into A tier if I really thought about it hard enough. But anyways, moving on here. Let's see, Mega Mewtwo Y, I'm gonna give a B tier. I like Mega Mewtwo Y. he's pretty cool. I love like the whole alien and eerie vibe he gives off. His toes kind of freak me out, not gonna lie, but I like how it takes Mewtwo to like the next level when it comes to special attacking prowess. Like, this man becomes a freaking special attacking monster. And I think that's just awesome. So I really like that. I also like how they took his tail, or his penis, and they put it on his head. Interesting design choice there. Now moving on, I'm gonna put Mega Mewtwo X in C tier. I don't like Mega Mewtwo X as much as I like Mega Mewtwo Y. I like what they tried to do there with having like Mega Mewtwo X be the strongest physical attacker, and then Mega Mewtwo Y being the strongest special attacker. But Mewtwo has always been a special attacking Pokemon, you know, so I thought it was weird how with Mega Mewtwo X they kind of just flipped that on its head and made him very physical. And not even just very physical, but like the strongest physical attacker in the game. You're gonna have to correct me on that if I'm wrong, by the way, but I'm pretty sure Mega Mewtwo X and Y, they have the highest special attack and the highest physical attack. Maybe that's changed with Ultra Beast. I'm honestly not entirely sure because I have not been keeping up with that detailed of an analysis of Sun and Moon. Sun and Moon hasn't really been my gig, but from what I can tell, or from what I took from Oras, I believe that was the case. So anyways, moving on, Mega Absol. I forgot about Mega Absol. Well, Mega Absol is S tier. I totally forgot to put him in S tier. And honestly, if I had to rank him, he would be right beside Pincer. Him and Pincer are like my top two. Like, they're like my number two. They're honestly tied for that slot. And the reason why, once again, is just Magic Bounce in terms of Absol. I love Magic Bounce. I used him a lot in competitive. He is sick. His just design is just beautiful. And Mega Absol just kind of holds a special place in my heart, literally for that reason alone. Like, these Pokemon, they're mainly there for competitive reasons, but they're also there for design reasons, as well as just overall appeal and overall success in battle. Honestly, that's really where the crux of these megas come in, is just my experience with them in competitive. So yeah, Absol's definitely up there. Maybe Beedrill and Pidgeot will have to go down to A tier. I don't know, I'll have to think about that a little more. But anyways, moving on here. Let's see. Latios and Latias, I'm gonna say are B tier. I'm gonna say are B tier. I really like these megas. I think it's really interesting how they look exactly the same. I think it's interesting. Maybe not the best choice design wise, but I think it's cool. You know how Latias and Latias kind of fuse together, or whatever to form a purplish, whatever the heck that is. So yeah, you know, I like it. I also really like the Soar feature in Oras. It's interesting to me that they were actually in X and Y. Latios and Latias, I believe, were actually in X and Y. They were in the code. But they didn't actually make an appearance until Oras, so that was super interesting to me. I remember seeing these megas leak on the internet from people who, you know, scoured X and Y, and I remember seeing them and being like, whoa, you know, like, there's these hidden megas in these games, whoa. So that was super cool. I have a lot of fond memories of like the reveals of these megas, as well as like the implications of these megas on the community as a whole. Like, that's honestly where I get a lot of my opinions from these megas. I'm not really as objective with these Pokemon because I'm thinking about them from past experiences, and I'm also thinking about them from like how they affected the community, and like, you know, just because like that era of Pokemon for me was one of the better eras for me personally. It was when I really started to get into the franchise. So anyways, it was also when I started YouTube, so that's another thing, man. That holds a special place in my heart. Anyways though, Lopunny, I really like Lopunny. I'm gonna give Lopunny a B. I think Lopunny's just sick overall. Great mega. I think it looks fantastic. Moving on. We're kind of big on the base here. Blaziken, I'm gonna give it A. I like Blaziken a lot, dude. Blaziken's just sick. I think it's more so I just like Blaziken as a Pokemon, honestly. But I think its mega just suits him so well. Honestly, it's just such a great mega. It really just adds on to an already great design, and I think it just works incredibly well. So anyways, moving on, what would be another A tier I'm thinking here? Let's see. Honestly, Gallade, Gallade's gonna be a B tier. I love Gallade a lot, and I think this mega really just screams like hero of justice to me, and I think it works so well with Gallade's design. So Gallade, fantastic. I love it. Also with Gardevoir, I'm going to put Gardevoir B tier as well. I think Gardevoir, the mega works well here. I like how Diantha had a mega Gardevoir at the end of X and Y. I think it fits her very well. And especially in the anime too, with the XYZ anime, the Ash Greninja versus Mega Gardevoir fight was sick. So I'm going to give it points there. Moving on, we have Slowbro. I'm actually gonna maybe possibly where am I gonna put him? Where am I gonna put him? I'm gonna give him C tier. I hate to do that to my boy. He might be a B tier. Yeah, okay, he's B tier, fine. He's B tier. He's tough, man, because I really like him. Like, I really like the design. I really like the concept. It's just comparing him to like Gallade and Lopunny and Mewtwo Y. It's kind of hard to put him in the same tier. Like, he's really in the middle here. I'm gonna give him C tier. That's not saying he's bad, because I actually love him. Like, I think he's great, and I love the concept. It's hard for me to rank him above, like, Kangaskhan. It's hard for me to rank him above Latios and Latias, That's where this really, really gets difficult. And I have a good attachment to Slowbro, too, when it comes to, like, the competitive game. I used to use him all the time. Now, moving on, Heracross. Fuck Heracross, man. I'm sorry. It's just, I don't like the design. I really don't. He just looks stupid with the orange hair and like the snout. Like, he's just He just ain't what he used to, if that makes sense. Like, the design was a downgrade. With these Pokemon, when they Mega Evolve, I think their designs are upgrades. This was a downgrade. I like regular Heracross better. So I'm gonna throw him D tier. I'm sorry about that, but he just ain't up to par. Moving on though, we're gonna put Abomasnow C tier. I really like Abomasnow. He's sick. That's all I have to say. Ampharos, I'm going to give Ampharos C tier as well. I like Ampharos' design. I like the dragon typing a lot. The hair looks sick, and it really just like kind of ties onto that whole wool aesthetic. As Mareep evolves, he loses the wool, but I think, seeing the wool come back as the flowing locks in Ampharos, I think that's sick. And him becoming dragon type out of nowhere, like that's just wild. So I really like that a lot. Moving on, Garchomp. I'm going to Garchomp a C tier. I like Garchomp a lot, but what kind of docks him points here is the fact that he kind of gets worse when he Mega Evolves. Like, in competitive play, I don't know how many of you guys are really familiar with this, and this might have changed with later generations, because honestly, as I said, haven't played competitive since 6th gen, but in 6th gen, Garchomp actually, like, you were better off running a Life Orb or a Choice Scarf Garchomp as opposed to running Mega Garchomp. Like, Mega Garchomp was never a good Mega to have, just because regular Garchomp was already so good, and you could get more out of another Mega and just a Choice Scarf Garchomp, as opposed to like going with the Mega Garchomp. Like, the Mega Garchomp wasn't enough of an increase to where it actually benefited you. Also, Garchomp, I'm pretty sure, I'm just remembering this now, but I'm pretty sure Garchomp slows down when he Mega Evolves, which just honestly kills him, because with Garchomp having, I think he had like base 102 speed in regular form, that slight edge over the base 100s is what allowed him to be so good. Because he was able to outspeed a lot of those base 100s, which was fantastic, which made him a great sweeper. But you Mega Evolve him and he goes down to like 97, and suddenly he can outspeed those boys, and sure, he gets more attack, but he gets killed before he can even do anything, because he's 4 times weak to ice. One ice shard, that man's gone. So anyways, it's been a while since I've played competitive, so I'm sorry if I got some of those accuracies wrong. But from what I remember him getting worse when he Mega Evolves, which was super unfortunate. Moving on, Sceptile. I'm gonna give Sceptile a B tier. I like Sceptile a lot. Mega Sceptile is just sick, and the way that he shoots off his tail is just awesome. I have very fond memories. This is nothing to do with Pokemon, but I have very fond memories of actually geckos in Florida, because in Florida we used to go on these yearly vacations to Florida, and every single year in Florida we'd see these geckos, and the cool thing about the geckos is that you could remove their tail. Like, that's like an actual thing. If the tail ends up falling off, then it ends up just growing back, like any other fucking whatever. Like, you could just grow it back. It's like, whatever, you lost your tail, who cares, man? I got plenty where that came from. So the fact that like Mega Sceptile embraced that sort of real life phenomena is just sweet. Like, that's just cool. I love that concept a lot. Moving on, Mega Salamence. I'll give him a C tier. He's cool. He's all right. The wings are kind of excessive, right? But like, I get why, because like the whole thing is that, Bagon can't fly, but then Salamence went ew, and then Mega Salamence went ew, suddenly he's a jet plane. Blastoise? What is that? Is that a B tier I see? That is a B tier I see. I like Blastoise. He's just cool. Man. Gyarados, B tier. I like Gyarados. He's all right. I do like regular Gyarados more, I think, and I was talking about this in the Kanto video. But yeah, Mega Gyarados, I don't know, like, maybe it's the dark typing that kind of gets me off, but I'm going to give him B tier simply because I love his design. I think his design is amazing, so that's why he's getting into B tier. You know, maybe they could have given him a better typing, maybe they could have done something better about his moveset, because I remember, or maybe they changed it, but I remember he didn't have access to, like, any good dark type attacks. Like, he didn't have access to Crunch or something. There was something with Gyarados that made him, like, pretty bad competitively, but I like his design. I really like his design. I think it's a good upgrade, so I'm going to go ahead and give that to Gyarados there. Now, moving on, Medicham. I'm going to give a C tier. I like Mega Medicham. He's cool. He's just cool. He's just overall very solid. That's all I'm going to say. Lucario's B tier. I really like Mega Lucario. Adaptability is sweet. One of the first Megas we were introduced to. Great Mega. Great Mega. That's all I really have to say about him. Mega Venusaur, B tier. I like Mega Venusaur a lot. He's just cool, man. Really, like, that's what it comes down to. These final few Megas are just, like, you know, me being like, yeah, he's sweet. Yeah, he's cool. That design's cool. You know? Bayonet, cool design. I like Bayonet a lot. I think it was a massive upgrade. And, you know, I never really got to play around with him in competitive, but his design is just sweet. I think he's just cool overall. Altaria, B tier. I like Altaria a lot. Dragon Fairy is freaking amazing, and I really dig him. Not gonna lie. Fantastic. Tyranitar, B tier. Don't have much experience with Tyranitar, but I really like the design they went with. It's very intimidating, very cool. I like it. Aggron's gonna get B tier as well. I like Aggron. I used him a little bit in competitive. And I liked him. You know, being pure steel, losing that rock type, gaining the ability filter, I'm pretty sure was his ability. It's nice. It's nice. This man takes hits. It's great. Glalie. Let's see. I'm going to give Glalie a C tier. Not because I don't like Glalie, because I do like Mega Glalie. I have very fond memories of, like, seeing him in the Oras demo. And I think that's sweet. And I like the whole jaw unhinged thing. Like, it's cool. But he's just not on the same tier as these Megas. You know, like, I feel like he's cool, he's very solid, but I think he definitely belongs here as opposed to here. Like, he's not comparable to, say, Mega Gyarados or Lucario. Like, he definitely deserves to be C tier. I'm not saying he's bad, but he just doesn't quite stack up to these mons here. So, anyways, moving on. Let's see. You know, honestly, I wish there were more tiers, because, like, I don't know, man. I don't know. Some of these Megas I'm just kind of iffy on. Scizor, I'll give B tier. Yeah, he's all right. He's cool. I kind of feel the same about Sharpedo too. Sharpedo would probably be upper B tier though, because I had a lot of good experience with him in competitive. I really liked him. He was very solid. Swampert, I'm gonna give B tier. You know, Swampert is, like, so buff. It's kind of throws me off sometimes. But overall, I think its Mega's great. I think it's a very solid Mega, and I think it fits Swampert very well. So I'll definitely give that to him. Now we have Steelix here. I really like Steelix's design. Not gonna lie, Steelix's design is just sweet. Honestly, I didn't really get to use him in competitive much, so I don't really have that personal attachment to him, but he is sick. He is sick. I will absolutely give him the sickness points there. Moving on, let's see. Houndoom, man, so, like, all these Megas are kind of iffy for me. Like, they could be C or B tier. I really don't have strong opinions about these Pokemon. I'll be real with you guys. Mega Alakazam, I did use Mega Alakazam fairly frequently. I'll give him a B. I like Mega Alakazam. He's very solid. And also, you know what? I'll give Mega Manectric a B as well, just because of his prominence in the competitive game. I remember Mega Manectric was huge with Intimidate, and, like, HP Ice used to do numbers, and it was just really cool to see, like, a Pokemon like Manectric, who typically wasn't used very often, get, you know, totally buffed up. So that was really cool. I'll give him props for that. Mega Gengar. Yeah, give him B tier. I like Mega Gengar. He's just eerie. He's just cool. I think it builds well on top of the initial Gengar design. It makes me sad that he loses Levitate. And wait, didn't Gengar lose Levitate, like, entirely, like, indefinitely in Sun and Moon? Oh, I think he did. Correct me if I'm wrong with that, but I remember something about that where they got rid of Levitate for the whole line, and that makes me sad. He deserves Levitate, man. Gengar doesn't have to worry about the ground. Come on now. He's a floating boy. Moving on though, Deontay's definitely B tier. I just think it's such a great Mega. Like, I just like the design, honestly. I almost never get to use Mega Deontay, but I love him. I think he/she is great. The design is just beautiful, and I think it just fits it so damn well. So I'm gonna give it props there. Mawile, I'm gonna give B tier. I know Mawile. What was crazy about Mawile is that Mawile went from being absolute garbage to literally running the game, and I think that's great. I think that's just fantastic. So Mawile, the buff is real. I mean, its design is just solid, honestly, overall. I like the fact that it turned fairy type, so I'll give it B tier for that. Mega Metagross. I want to give C tier. I know. It's just, honestly, I like the design of regular Metagross better than Mega Metagross, and I think that's what's going to put him in C tier. I think that's what ultimately slides him in there. And I don't know, maybe just like the whole floating forearms, massive goatee, maybe that's just not quite doing it for me. But yeah, I'm gonna land him in C tier. Not saying he's bad, because I do like him, but like he's definitely on the same level as these mons as opposed to these mons, if that makes any sense. I just don't feel like he's quite on par with like Kangaskhan or Audino or Lucario. So that's why I'm giving him C tier. I do like Metagross as a Pokemon. I do like Mega Metagross. It's just his design was just kind of a downgrade for me, and I feel like that's what ultimately puts him in C tier. So yeah, anyways, Houndour, okay, I'm gonna give him C tier for one reason. I love his design. I think Houndour is a Pokemon, or Houndoom, that's his freaking name. Houndoom is amazing, and its Mega looks amazing, but it sucks. Like, his Mega actually kind of made him garbage. Like, it was an upgrade, but he gets solar power, which means that he has to rely on drought, which means you have to run him with, I'm pretty sure you had to run him with Ninetales, because the only other drought Pokemon, which I didn't even mention this before, the only other drought Pokemon was Charizard, really. Like, I don't think there were any other, I mean, and obviously, correct me if I'm wrong, and I'm thinking about, 2014 X and Y era competitive game here. Sun and Moon, they probably changed a lot, made him a lot more useful. But I remember him basically relying on Drought, and in order to get Drought going, you had to have a Mega Charizard. But obviously, you can't have a Mega Charizard and a Mega Houndoom, so you had to kind of pick one, and the clear winner there is just Mega Charizard every time. So that's why I ultimately docked him points there, but I think his design is sick, and I think overall the Pokemon is sick. And I didn't even mention this before, but I love that Mega Charizard has Drought. That is fantastic. That's amazing. That's just beautiful. Anyways, speaking of Fire-type Pokemon, Camerupt is B tier. Yeah, I really like Camerupt. I just really like him. He's just cool. He's just cool. I used him in competitive a couple times. He's sick. He's just really sick. I like how they gave a nice buff to my boy, and giving him a little volcano on his back, that's adorable. Moving on, Aerodactyl, we're going to give B tier. And I think that wraps it up. I know a lot of these tier lists have been very like B tier focused. Like, basically I pick my favorites, I throw them S, A tier, whatever. I pick my slightly less favorite, C, D tier, and then I kind of just throw the rest in B tier. But honestly, this is how I feel about them, Like, in my opinion, all these Megas are kind of on the same playing field. Like, I really just like them all equally. I don't really have too many strong opinions about these Megas, because they're just kind of great. They're just kind of cool. And really what sets these Megas apart from these Megas is either, the Pokemon behind them, or the effect they've had on me personally in competitive play, or just their design overall, I think is just a little bit more top notch. Like that, that's really what just kind of inches these few up there. And then what ends up putting, these Pokemon a little lower is either because their design, or maybe it's just one little thing that I don't like about them that ends up kind of docking them points, or just Mega Heracross sucking ass. So, it just be like that. Just be like that. But yo, comment down below if you guys want to tweet me. Tweet me your own tier list. You guys are absolutely more than welcome to. Thank you all so much for supporting these videos. I really do appreciate it. I hope you guys enjoyed, and comment down below if there's any other tier lists you guys want me to see. I've been scrolling through, and I feel like this is like basically the last like unique one that is there to do. Maybe we could hop on like a Gen 2 one, Gen 3 one, etc, etc. But in the meantime, thank you all so much for everything. You guys are the absolute best. I love you, dudes. Hit the like button down below, comment and subscribe if you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys next time. Peace! Bye!
You ever look in a mirror and you see yourself?